Welcome, Rebel Educators. This is where we rise, where we reclaim our voices and reimagine education. Everything is on fire. DEI programs have been slashed, social emotional learning canceled, LGBTQIA plus inclusion groups have been cut, anti-racist curriculum banned, teachers are getting fired or forced into silence, rainbow flags removed, funding for special needs eliminated, and now the administration is threatening to withhold federal funding if institutions don't bend the knee. As I'm sure you are aware, teachers are miserable and they are leaving education in unprecedented numbers, citing political and ideological pressures as a primary reason for wanting out. According to the National Education Association, more than 35% of U.S. educators reported that they were considering leaving the profession due to political or ideological pressures, and that data was collected before 2024. If you do some quick math, that's about 1.33 million educators leaving the education system due to the attack on education. If you are an educator who plans to leave or who's already left, you are certainly not alone. And if you're like most of us, you're feeling a lot of big emotions. Most educators are feeling overwhelmed, disillusioned, and downright pissed off. Let's take a minute to hold some space for what we're feeling as a collective. You may be feeling overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a complex negative emotion when an individual perceives that environmental demands tax or exceed their adaptive capacity. Whether you are an educator or not, what's happening in the United States right now is overwhelming. According to research, when you're overwhelmed, even talking about the situation can cause psychological and physical symptoms. As an educator, what you're experiencing is more than just disappointment. This is disillusionment, the condition of being disenchanted, dissatisfied, or defeated in expectation or hope. Beyond your loss of hope in the system you once believed in, you're likely also feeling afraid for what's to come for you and your students. And a lot of us, quite frankly, are really fucking pissed off. And your rage is justifiable because what this administration is doing to our education system and our democracy is disgusting. It's disgraceful and unthinkable. And one of the most complicated emotions you're likely experiencing is grief. Grief is a complex emotion. It involves sadness, shock, and disbelief. These systemic changes causing you to leave or consider leaving, it's more than just navigating a career change. It's a loss of self, a loss of identity. You're grieving the loss of your dream job, a job you believed in at the core of your being, a calling to a higher purpose. You imagined spending decades transforming students' lives with your teaching magic. You thought you'd grow old and retire after decades of helping students chase their dreams and become the best versions of themselves. You dreamed about changing the world, but now that dream is a distant memory. Now, the reality of our education system is the nightmare that keeps you up at night, worrying about what to do next. If you're here, I believe it's because you know this world is worth fighting for. You know that an educated populace is the most dangerous thing to the elites. You understand that those of us who dreamed of becoming teachers, who know we are gifted educators, who were called into this work by some deep knowing that the world needed educators like us. We can keep the dream alive, but we need to imagine something new. And in the wise words of Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. The system is burning down, and it's time for us to rise from the ashes and create something new. This is a serious problem that deserves a creative solution, and I'm here to invite you to join the future of education. Together, we can fight for a better tomorrow. We can create a new system where we make the rules, where we prioritize humanity, where we help students become the most authentic and value-aligned versions of themselves, where we support the development of good humans who are curious, creative, and kind critical thinkers, where empathy and compassion are honored and self-awareness is central to the learning experience. You know, the woke topics the far right has demonized and systematically attacked. If you're here, then you likely consider yourself more than just an educator. You're a guide, a truth teller, a wayfinder for your students. You inspire learning, growth, personal development, and critical thinking. You truly change lives. You have a strong sense of justice and dream of a world where all people are free to be their whole authentic selves, where people can discuss challenging topics and expand their worldview, where inclusion, empathy, and concern for fellow humans humans are prioritized. But somewhere along the way, you were told to shut up, to tone it down, to take that book off your syllabus, to take that rainbow sticker off your door, to pretend that teaching isn't political. But education is political. The future of education and the future of humanity rely on the educators being silenced to use their collective voice for good. If you're starting to get a little fired up, then you're my kind of people. My name is Amy Weisner. I'm a communication expert, community builder, and rebel professor. I'm one of those voices they tried to silence, but here I am, getting really fucking loud. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I earned an undergraduate degree in marketing and spent 14 years in consultative sales and relationship-based marketing, fundraising, community building, and leadership. Then I decided to pursue a master's and Ph.D. in communication. For 13 years, I taught in academic settings at the University of Hawaii, at Manoa, University of Michigan, and Michigan State University in both communication schools and business schools. Now I'm an authentic communication coach working with solopreneurs, organizations, founders, coaches, business owners, and TED speakers. I've helped thousands of people reclaim their authentic voices so they can tell their stories in compelling, audience-focused ways. I'm a published author, TEDx speaker, and I'm currently writing Older and Wisener, a story of my own authentic self-discovery. I'm also a single mom by choice, raising two young, curious, creative souls to question everything and trust their own intuition. I'm doing my part to raise two critical thinkers who will fight with everything they have against injustice in this world. And I'm a recovering people pleaser, a lifelong question asker, and a professional shit starter. I'm committed to unlearning my own conditioning, addressing my biases, and in the wise words of the white woman whisperer, I'm undoctrinating myself. Lastly, I'm deeply familiar with the risk involved with asking big questions and teaching the truth in a system that demands silence. If you've been targeted, fired, and dragged on Fox News, then you're in good company with me. If you're like me, you know deep in your soul that you were meant to teach, but you can no longer do it in the old system. So let's create something new together, something better. Today's session is not a typical webinar. It's a rallying cry. It's a space to reflect, reconnect, and remember that you are not alone. My hope for this session is that by the end, you will have restored hope for the future of education. Whether you're just figuring out what's next or you're ready to teach on your own terms, we'll explore how you can be part of building something aligned, impactful, and sustainable. The future of education requires a diverse community of heart-led, passionate educators who bring their unique strengths and superpowers into the mix. To create a space that celebrates teachers and students' authentic self-expression, we must embrace the true nature of each individual. So I'm curious, how would you describe your true nature? Are you a fierce warrior, a quiet, wise old owl? Are you soft, yet surprisingly intense? Maybe you have a gentle, caring spirit. Maybe you're naturally creative and adventurous. Are you enthusiastic and happy? However you show up as an educator, if you're here, I'm guessing it's because you know you are meant to use your superpowers to teach. You experience profound joy when students have those transformational aha moments, when you witness the growth of another human being happening before your eyes. And now you're probably losing sleep at night worrying about what the world will become without the content that you teach. If this sounds like you, then you've probably considered teaching outside of the classroom. You know you have important things to say. You know your content changes people's lives. You know there are people who want to learn what you love to teach. If you've dreamed about the freedom of creating your own online course where you can teach on your own terms and speak with your authentic voice, you're in the right place. Maybe you've been sitting up at night brainstorming ways to take your content from the classroom to the internet streets. Maybe you've started calculating how many classes you would need to teach so you can finally leave the old system behind. And maybe you already started building some course curriculum and you're excited to get started. Regardless of where you are in the process, if you want to teach outside the system, there are some important differences to consider when shifting from the classroom to the free market. As a coach who has helped course creators, consultants, and solopreneurs create and communicate an authentic brand story, I've learned a lot about what gets in the way of success for even the most incredible educators. So buckle up. Hands down, the most challenging thing about teaching solo is finding paying students to fill your classes. You see, in the traditional teaching setting, your audience is built in. You don't really think about it, but you show up and teach people who were told to be there. Whether or not they want to be there, well, that's another story. But either way, your audience is built in. They may not be the most engaged audience. Sometimes they are, but you don't have to find them and get them in seats. You don't have to worry about sending invoices and taking payments. You don't have to sell yourself to get them there. Now, once you have them in seats, that's where your magic happens. You know how to share your ideas in compelling ways that transform your audience. That's your zone of genius. Connecting with students where they are, helping them grow through challenges, and inspiring future generations to greatness. Taking your magic to the internet streets is a great way to reclaim your autonomy. But creating an audience, that's an entirely different ballgame. To keep your courses full, you must always be marketing. You must always be filling the funnel with new prospective students. And your offer must have a high perceived value, and your voice needs to cut through a lot of internet noise. Self-promotion is the name of the game for a solo coach. You have to compete with every other demand, every other offer, and you have to price yourself in a way that lands with your audience and still pays you what you deserve to be paid. You need an effective funnel with a lead magnet and a low ticket offer, mid ticket offer, and a high ticket offer. And you probably need an engaging social media presence. You have to figure out how to manage all the technology like email automations, website designs, community space, manage Stripe payments, chargebacks. It's a lot. You wear a lot of hats. Balancing your time as a curriculum planner and then teaching, marketing, communicating, doing all the sales, finance, billing, advertising, social media management, community engagement, technology, website design, video and audio editing, and a whole host of administrative tasks. I made a quick pros and cons list. The full version I'll send you in a PDF so you can download it. But the upside to teaching solo is that you get to reclaim your autonomy. You can teach everything you care about on your own terms. And obviously the income potential is much higher. But the trade-off is the constant search for students, lots of marketing and technology and demands, and learning how to run a successful solo business. If you're getting stressed out about the idea of running the business side of things while also creating and teaching courses, you should be. It's a lot for one person, but there is a better option. You can reclaim your voice and reimagine education in a business ecosystem designed for rebel educators. I'd like to introduce the Rebel Educator Alliance, where we are co-creating the future of education. This community was built for rebel educators to reclaim their voices and reimagine the future of education together. The Rebel Educator Alliance is a business engine, a creative incubator, and a community-powered platform for educators who refuse to be silenced, are ready to teach what matters, and want to earn what they deserve without doing it alone. We're not just launching courses, we're creating a new education ecosystem where educators can stay in their zone of genius and teach what they're passionate about while everyone else gathers around to hype them up. If you're ready to teach outside the classroom, the Rebel Educator Alliance is for you. Nothing like this has ever existed before. Educators bring their diverse perspectives, knowledge, and superpowers into a collaborative and supportive environment where together we build a thriving community of learners. I built this community because I've watched far too many solo educators with incredible content to teach struggle to do everything on their own. Rather than being forced to choose between the classroom that comes with infrastructure, but no freedom and extremely limited income potential, or a solo journey that comes with ultimate autonomy and the uncapped earning potential at the expense of your sanity, as you are forced to wear every hat, endlessly self-promote, manage all operations, and keep the audience flowing in. With the Rebel Educator Alliance, you can have the best of both worlds. You can leave the stifling, crumbling education system behind and scrap the stress of running a teaching business in isolation while running yourself ragged. The most powerful path forward is to join the founding cohort of the Rebel Educator Incubator. You will work with a cohort of like-minded educators to build your course from start to finish, all of the marketing, and have an entire business ecosystem running the operations for you. This is more than just a course. This is a revolutionary cohort of educators building something new together. You'll go from feeling silenced, stuck, scattered, frustrated to developing your most aligned first offering and thriving without having to wear all the hats. We'll wear those for you. In 6 months, before the year even ends, you will have transformed yourself from a classroom teacher being silenced to having created something powerful in community with like-minded educators, and you will become someone who teaches the way the world needs us to teach. You will take your content that you love to teach, that you're being told you can't teach anymore, and we're going to turn that into something that we know the world wants, that we know parents who are raising children want to teach their kids, that we know college students want to learn, that we know grownups want to learn. And together, we're going to bring a community of learners into that ecosystem for you. You're not going to do that by yourself. We're going to do it together. This isn't about doing more. This is about shifting to do the work that you know you are meant to do here, to teach the people you are meant to teach, and bringing it to the people who need it and want it the most. Join the founding cohort and let's build something absolutely magical together. When you join the founding cohort, I will coach you through finding your authentic voice, building a course that just fuels your soul, and launching it into the world. I'm not sharing details publicly about what this educational ecosystem is going to be, but for anybody who's in this founding cohort, you'll be part of creating it. We will create it together. And so if this resonates with you, if what we've talked about today resonates with you, fueling a fire inside of you and answering the questions you've been asking while you're tossing and turning all night long, apply to become a founding cohort member, a co-creator in the future of education. I will respond to you personally. I look forward to creating the future of education with you. Thank you. I love you. Bye.